Hello, hello. Snick time. Yeah, we're gonna work on this Snick. It needs a lot. It needs moves, it needs better animations. Let's do it. Okay. We need to model some things. 3D. I want dice, I want poker chips, I want slot machine? How is slot machine gonna work? Is slot machine targetable? I can make a whole gimmick fight here. But I don't think that's a good idea. Like I'm picturing some kind of slot machine background element used to determine what move he uses. I don't know. Let's start with the obvious stuff we need, which is actual animations for this guy. He got just the bare minimum because he was just in silhouette. Idle animation is fine. Like, if I wanted to be picky, I would like a blink. Talk is terrible because his mouth doesn't even move. So we'll need something for that. So let's get started here. Art. That's the one. Yeah. Okay. So he's gonna need a little mouth. That's actually pretty easy. Because it can just kind of extend out. Now what's going on with the... Okay, yeah, the teeth just look like that. So if we just do like this... Oh, see, well that's not great because it extends in a weird way. We can do a little bit of rotational offset so that it extends out this way. And then that'll actually work fine. There we go. Incredible. A mouth. And now... export that. Yes. Yes, really. Copy it over here. Everything still looks great. Now we need to switch over to the 2D side. That's the air conditioner. It's hot. It's just gonna do that. Yeah. Hello, Posey. What? Stop, Posey. Sweet Posey. Nope. 2D node. Let's going to exist here, but rotated. Yeah, about 9 degrees looks good. And now mouth container can be scaled. Yeah, it's much better. All right, so we're gonna have scale. And I guess cubic is fine. The reset needs to be 0. Hello, day. I didn't do it. Don't blame me. Oh shoot. That doesn't work at all. Because, yeah. You gotta do it here. Then go into 3D. 3D. Now we can mess with this. All of them, I'm afraid. That's a shame. That'll work. Now we can talk. Okay. Last time we set up a new magical thing on the enemy called an ambush move, so that we can have the enemy open the battle with an attack. Super cool. Mac, thank you for the giant snick. The enormous snick. So we're going to call this enemy Slim 1. Because there may be a rematch. I don't know. We'll see. Sometimes that's the way these things happen. Half-wit? No. Slim knows a thing or two. He's clever. If anything, his downfall is that he's a bit of a gambler. But he knows when to fold him. He is one of the few bosses that will basically decide that it is time to leave. I have no idea how much health this guy needs. He's gonna be a solo villain. He's not exactly a fake out boss. I would put him TTYD analog, maybe Bowser 1. There are other snakes, but you fight him on his own. Go, Slim. So let's look up Bowser's stats in the bestiary. All right, Bowser 1. Bowser 1 is 30 HP, and he actually has 3 strength. Now, the notable thing about Bowser is that you're allowed to lose to him. It's really weird. Let's bring him down to 35. Strength of 2 is still good, I think. He'll hit with a lot of multi-attacks, possibly. And he'll be using a lot of offense up things. Alright, so he needs to have an ambush move that we haven't built yet. But that's a very important thing, is that he will have an ambush move that kicks off the luck effect, which is kind of the gimmick of the fight. For the duration of the fight, unless you do something about it, you and your partner will be unlucky, and Slim will be lucky. And what that's going to do is it means that negative status effects are more likely to stick to you and less likely to Slim, and vice versa for positive status effects. So what's that going to appear as? I mean, actually, you know what? An attack that just rolls a die and does whatever the damage is could be pretty cool. Because it could do anywhere from 1 to 6. That's pretty big. Although maybe I should change it to, well, a pair of dice. But that's just such a huge range. 1 to 6 is already pretty scary. Especially if it attacks both you. No, that should be a 1 or the other. Or, no, actually, I could see that as a scary attack being one of them on each of you. A dice for each one. Like a big old dice flattens you. And whatever number is showing up is what it hits you for. How much damage it hits for. I like that. So we'll need to model a little dice with some pips. Do we want to texture the pips or model them, or both? Give it some thought. I want it to be nice and smooth-sided, you know, like a nice polished die. Okay, so that's one move. Is we'll do. Let's have this as a big dice. Squish all party members. Damage equals showing face, and it'll be not the one that's face up, the one that's facing the camera. So we're gonna cheat it a little bit, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. And then we need something that's going to inflict the luck effect. So inflict luck. I don't know what the theming of that one is going to be. Something that kind of coats the screen like a big rain of poker chips is an idea. So let's get our theming. Poker chips, slot machine, dice. We've already figured out dice. We know where dice are going to be. What else? Cards. Ooh, yeah, this is a big one. This is a big one. Because this is the one attack that I knew about since I was working on Chapter 1 of the game. I knew this was going to be an attack. This is... the shell game attack. This is like, you know, find the boss. Where's the boss? It's gonna be like a deck of cards appears, and then it shuffles. He's behind one of them, and you kind of try and watch where he is. And then suddenly there are 4 valid targets, but 3 of them are dummies. He is behind one of the cards, and you can't figure out which one. This is a great opportunity for an area of effect attack if you have one at this point in the game. If you don't, well, that's on you. Okay, so that's 4 different moves for this guy. That's pretty good, but we could add one more, just like a little... I don't see him as the type to actually walk up to you and smack you with his face. What's another gambling? All right, dice, poker chips, slot machine, cards. What else we got? Roulette wheel. I could maybe a spinning roulette wheel that basically does the snail attack of spin and then roll through. Maybe. That's already 4. I don't know what to do with the slot machine. It could be our lucky unlucky. Dartboard, pool table. That kind of drifts a bit off theme. Is it 1L? I don't actually know. I don't actually know how to spell roulette. Okay, so dice, yes. Cards, yes. This can either be a slot machine attack or poker. Like we could fire some poker chips. Like do just a bunch of little attacks. That's a good one. Dice is good because it's one big attack, and it's area of effect. Shell game is not an attack so much as a tactic. It's not going to do any damage. It's just going to complicate things for you. So I really like that. I really like that that's going to mix up the battle. Okay. So we still need... Okay, dice is a good damage move. I guess we could do... Fire a bunch of little poker chips. Pew, pew, pew. It's okay. Front line only. And that tells me that slot machine will likely be... Okay, hang on. Let's think of other gambling-themed... villains. Cuphead had the King Dice fight where everything was about kind of gambling stuff. So what did we have in that? We had, I remember a roulette thing. There was also like a rabbit in a hat, which was more of, I guess, casino magic show theme than it was gambling theme exactly. And big cigar. Again, not really gambling-centric, more casino. centric as the theming. Coin flip is already handled by status effects, and that's not really a big thing. I'd say these are our core 5 right here. Hi, Slav. There's a snake. There's a snake. He's a gambling man. He's here to gamble, and he's going to have a bunch of attacks that are all gambling themed in this battle. Chapter 3 is going to have some really fun battles, in my opinion. There is Snake. I'm trying to assign the themes to different attacks. Cards and dice are spoken for. Poker chip, slot machine, and roulette. Roulette's a weird one because that's something that you view kind of top down. So that's a lot harder to see in a side view battle without doing some silly stuff. I don't know if we'll drop that one. Poker game of cards are handled. Cards are handled. Sorry, I'm marking it with a pound sign, a number sign to indicate that we've used it. And then these are the ones we've used it on. Dice done. Cards done. Not sure which one is going to be the initial for my programming language of choice. I think that would be a bitwise not. So a bitwise inversion. I don't do a lot of bitwise stuff though, professionally or otherwise. Thankfully, I'd say it's if you're doing bitwise stuff, you're either dealing with a lot of flags or I don't know what else that would mean for you. I think it's the same in Python and C#. Okay. It's useful, but if you're at that low level where you're having to think about that, you're working on something maybe a little bit difficult to deal with. Because most modern stuff would kind of abstract that away in named flags, and you would think of it in terms of that. Maybe you would use some bitwise or a bitwise and to determine, like, hey, does this value, which stores a list of bits, does it contain this flag? Yeah. But if you're having to do a bitwise not, it feels like whatever you're writing with that is going to be really hard to read. And so you definitely want to leave comments of what your intention is if you're dealing with that operator at all. I think there's a case somewhere in here where I'm using some bitwise operators. Gross. Okay, slot machine. I don't know if I want to model an actual slot machine or if we just want to do slot machine noises and a bunch of rotating symbols. That could be a good one for the intro. Ah, I understand now. It all makes sense. Okay, so poker chips can be a... I don't know about roulette at all. Poker chips can be a multi-attack. A weak, but pew 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 kind of attack. Roulette wheel. I can't visualize what a roulette wheel would look like. I guess could do something with the battlefield to make it look like a roulette wheel, and then have a big ball come in around and around and hit you. I don't know. That one seems silly. I'll put a question mark by it. Okay. Poker chips can be drawn, I think. Cards can be drawn. There'll be a Sprite 3D. Big dice, I want those modeled. I definitely want those modeled in Blender. That's going to be a fun one, too. Let's get an accurate dice face going on, too. Hey, look, we did it. All right, first get rid of the cube. Always get rid of the default cube, right? Now that's a cube. So to properly model this, how would we want to do it? Just do a little bit of subdivide, and then subdivision surface to get those nice. Oh, look at that already. Let's do shade smooth on that. Why not? Look at that. That's already a pretty good start. Okay, now for the pips. Pips are a question. I feel like this geometry could be a little bit cleaner. Like this whole loop, and this whole loop, I think can be removed. Delete. Oh, dissolve vertices. Oh! Delete vertices. Oh! You know what? Never mind. Never mind. We'll just have maybe a few more triangles than we would have expected. All right. How do we do pips? I can think of a few ways to do it. Okay, very important. Very important. Opposite sides need to add to 7. Snake should use fair dice. Yeah. You get it. Okay, is this how we're gonna do this? Is this the way to do this? 0.2? Does 0.2 seem right? That looks right. And it's smooth enough. Okay. Yeah. So then this needs to be our 6 side, right? About here? 0.5? Okay. We could array these, but it doesn't really matter, does it? Yeah, we're gonna do a Boolean on all this at the end. Hey, Liari. So don't think that these pips are sticking out, because they're not going to. Do not be deceived. Let's look at a 6-sided dice. Let's look at an actual, the real way that a dice should be constructed. Because there's the shape, you know. There's the specific way that the pips line up. So between a 1 and a 6 this way, you would have a 2 going across here, or a 5. So let's do a 5 on the bottom, yeah? So that's the bottom. Okay, looking good, looking good. Uh-huh. There we go, and now... Okay, is that the right facing? I don't think it is. 1, 6, no, that's not. That's the right facing for that. Okay, and if that's the 2, then the... Wait a second. No, wait, I did have it. I did have it right. Yeah. And then the 2 and the 3 meet on the right side of the 6. Okay, rotate on Y. All right, there we go. And then the 4 is easy because that one doesn't have any kind of rotation of importance. I think that's it. That's all of them. Ugh, what a mess. The same 3 sides repeated twice. I've not. But this is not, that's not what we're doing here, obviously. Obviously. Is there a way to make a bajillion Booleans? Oh, you know what? Yeah, there is, actually. I could join all of these. Right? Control J, Shift J. What do we do? How do we join all of these? Blender, join meshes. Select all the meshes you wish to merge, hit Control J to join them. Do I need to be in edit mode? Control J. Oh, there we go. Alright, so now it's all one mesh. So now we can say, do a difference with that. Something doesn't look right here. Something looks weirdly squarey. Does this help? I would say no, it doesn't. Okay, that did not work out how I wanted it to. Huh. Great question. Something wonky. Something went wonky. But what? No, I spent all that time making all these pips. But they're not good. Solver fast. I'm still getting these weird bit chunks. Huh. All right. What if it was a UV sphere? That would probably be better. If I had to guess, that would probably be better. But it needs to be facing the right way and everything. You know what? Sure. Let's do that. Let's do that. Hang on. Let's try it. And I don't want it to be so much. This is too much. This is too much. These need to be simple. Simple. Okay. Radius 0.2, right? Yeah. All right, so what would this look like? What if I did cube, Boolean with this sphere? That still doesn't look great. It's got to be something with the smoothness, right? With the way that the smoothness is rendered. Yeah, I don't love that. What if I apply this? Look at this weirdness here. Why is this weirdness so weird? Flatten it out a bit, maybe? So it is weird. That is weird. I wanted a nice, clean little... You know what? I guess we're gonna go with textured. We're gonna go with textured instead. We're gonna texture it. How do we do that? How are we gonna do that? We need to create a material. Ah, got just the thing. Art. I don't want it to be... Oh, this is going to be weird. This is going to be really weird. 50 pixels per side. Let's do it this way. All right. Hold on, let me pull up a correct dice pattern first, and then we're just gonna make a little placeholder here. This is not going to be particularly accurate. How are we operating on this? We were operating 0.5 between, so like quarters, so like 12.5 or 13. No, so that doesn't work. You got to do 25, huh? All right, this will work. This will work. Yeah, the 3D modeling, that was a weird one. Formerly it was 0.2, so a fifth. We're just gonna go for good enough. I might apply a nice little texture to the whole image in a bit. But for now, this will work. Great. Actually, you know what we could go ahead and do is go ahead and apply a little brushy brush of like a slightly yellowish color. You know what I mean? There, boom. Just give it a little bit of texture. All right, cool. PNG, dice. Yeah, I'm using the plural form. What of it? All right. So we need to apply a material. I'm still not super great at finding my way around Blender, but I'm getting okay at it. Art, Blender, Chapter 3, Dice. Okay, it's on there. It is on there. Why don't we try to get it on there a little better? Well, you know what? That's not too bad. That does line up to pretty much what we wanted. I see a little bit of a problem, but I think I would like this to be a little bit more squeezed in there, you know? But not by much. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, each face, we need to consider that to be divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 pieces. Yeah, quarters. Circles should be in the center of squares in the grid. You are so right. Well, I was eyeballing it. Oh, you mean in this grid? Should be in the center. Yeah. Yeah, I was doing a very rough placement job. I would love to have the grid guide show me this. And I think what I'm gonna do to make this happen. Oh wait, that's just gonna, well, that's still doable. This is still workable. Just make a new image out of this. Oh, I see the problem here. I don't like that. Okay, use this as a rough guide. Make a new layer. And now we can actually use this image properly. Oh, thank you. I worked reasonably hard on them. I'm not going to say really hard, because that's not true. Right in there. Okay. I love dice. I think they're fun to think about. I like to think about probabilities, expected values. Did you know sometimes in school when I was bored, I would just daydream about expected values. Would make up math problems and solve them. Because I'm a huge nerd. Not going anywhere with that story. That was it. Okay, is there a good way to specify a percentage for resize? I don't see a good way to do that. It's gonna be very eyeball-y. Just like, that's about right. Wait. The resize. Change it off of nearest neighbor. Change it off of nearest neighbor to bilinear. And we'll get a nice, much smoother setup here. All right, that's looking good. That's looking good. Okay. Cool. Material, open image again. Much better. Okay. Yeah, I think that's good. The material, let's give it a less rough appearance. Make it a little bit shinier. I still would love to bevel these slightly, you know? Like a little bevel there. But like a rounded bevel. How doable is that? Like I could take the vertices, bring them in, and that gives you this, which isn't a terrible effect since it's still a smoothly shaded element. It's probably a little bit too far, but well, here's the problem is that we tried that earlier and we got a really bad Boolean setup and I still don't know why it looked so bad. And I can't put my finger on what was wrong with it, but it was wrong. Oh dear. Oh dear. That's what I'm trying to do. There we go. Alt-S. Alt-S is the one I want. What if we just make it subtle? What if we just make it kind of subtle? Like, you can still kind of see that with the way that the light hits it, but it's subtle. I think that's decent. Remember, this is going to fly by. This is going to be small. Right? Right. Do we want a metallic look to it? Does that... Ooh, that certainly does give it something. I don't know if it gives us the right thing, but... Yeah, that's the wrong material look, isn't it? Metallic is not the way to go. Like, we can go slightly metallic, but I think mostly just low roughness gives it a nice shine. That's a good looking dice right there. I love this dice. I'm very proud of it. All right. Save. Export. That was fun. I enjoyed that. I genuinely had fun making that. All right. Attack. Attacks. GLB. I have no idea if that's a good way. I don't know what the advantages and disadvantages are versus other formats, but it works more or less, so I stick with it. For now. For this project, I stick with it. And then I find out, don't you know? Don't you know? GLBs explode. Oh, look at this. Look at this. Heck yeah. Heck yeah, big dice, big dice. So the idea is it's gonna just plop down and land on each party member and make them go squishy accordion sound. So I need it to do like a crazy, wacky spin and then land with a single face perfectly facing the camera. Well, not necessarily the camera. I guess just Z-axis is fine. And so, you're always wrong no matter what you do. Well, yes, and sometimes being wrong can be fun. Right? Right? Okay, so I want to spawn one of these for each player character. So, Dabble and partner. Well, each valid target. If a target cannot be hit because, for instance, they're dead, then no, I don't want them to be targeted. In which case, it'll only target Dabble. Thump. Hit thump. We pick a rotation. I got a silly idea. I do believe. I'm going to do a little bit of scripting to make this possible. Okay, we're going to define a specific rotation vector. I'm not going to use quaternions. I'm just going to define it as an XYZ. We're going to define a specific rotation vector for each of the 6 possible faces. Maybe we'll do just rotation X and rotation Y, because that's enough to get all 3 faces. It doesn't have to be every possible rotation of each face. Just the 6 faces have a vector assigned to them. And then we will add to that vector some extra crazy wacky rotation, and then we'll play that in reverse so that it lands on the space that we've told it to land on. I think that's good. Ah, better yet. I'm a genius, perhaps. Let's create a new scene. Oops. Yikes. Create a new scene. That's what basically what we're going to do. We're going to have a parent node that's going to manage the crazy rotation, and it's going to be baked in with an animation player. And then we're going to have the sub node, the actual dice model, have its predefined rotation. Dice attack effect. Node 3, rotation container, and dice model. Notable is that the rotation container needs to land like here-ish, and also needs to be a lot smaller. Let's get Dabble for scale. Dabble for scale. Okay, so it needs to squish him. So I'm thinking 50%. That's reasonable. That's reasonable accordioning. Move the rotation container so it rotates around the origin there. All right, so this is where it's going to land. Call it roll. We're going to mess with the position and rotation. I don't know how long the animation's going to take. I'm going to come in from above. Let's say 7 units up. And it's going to do a big wacky spin, which I'm just going to do this. I would like it to do a little bounce, perhaps. So we'll do something silly with that. Also, we'll get the timing figured out on this. We'd want a nice quadratic drop. We're gonna fake gravity here. So let's see here. So, in order to fake gravity, that needs to be 0.75. We need to bring it back up for a little bouncy bounce. Maybe 2 bouncy bounces. Or should I script the gravity bit? I could script the gravity bit. I don't know. Animation player seems right, but if we do a full animation player setup, then it's hard to make it randomized. Like we're gonna have 2 falling dice right next to each other, one to hit the player, one to hit the partner character. And if they're falling with the exact same rotation, I don't like that. Let's go all out here. Let's go all out here. Increment the X, Y, and Z rotations to the original one. So not like a parent node, but that's the original position of the dice. Maybe. Do I like that? Hang on, I need to think about which way makes more sense for me. And then rolls down to and just randomize the original position. I'm going to try something a little bit that might be potentially a little bit silly, and we're just going to see how it looks. If it looks good, then that's good enough for me. I'm not expecting this to need to be maintainable, but I do want it to be something I can look at later and be like, okay, I do understand what's going on. Ooh. Well, no, I don't want to randomize it. I want to bake it. I want to know what it's going to land on from the start. Shifting the texture is a way. Like, if I always know that the original animation lands on a 1, I could offset the texture of that specific model, do like a duplicate texture so that it doesn't affect the other instances. we'd still have the same animation playing in lockstep. I feel like it looks so unnatural to have 2 dice falling through the air, but they're like rotating at the exact same speed, and maybe no one would care about that, but I would care about it a little bit. Maybe like a little bit, right? Okay, this is that a 3. Is a pi over 2. Hello, Dupu. Randomization to the animation play speed. It adds some silliness to it. Dupu, thank you for the lizards. Also, please enjoy this little soundbite I have queued up. on my soundboard for reasons. It's really good. 5 is pi. 4 is 3 pi over 2. I don't know why he is. He has no reason to be dismayed. 5 is on the y-axis. Oh wait, I've already got a 5. And another 5. What did I get? No, wait, I got 1, 3, 6, 4. 1, 3, here we go. 6, 4. There we go. And then pi 2. And then negative 90 for 2. Yeah, there we go. Okay, cool. Now we've got what our final rotation should be. It's Nick. Hello, casual. It's good and cool. It is karmic. Willow. Thank you for subscribing at tier 1 for 6 months in advance and for subscribing to 20 months. Thank you, Willow. That's not for me to do. That's not for me to do, Dupu. I can do it right now. It wouldn't be bad. I'm stuck with you. But I don't want people doing that on my channel. You know what else we could get? You know what else we could get that I think would be cool and good? Everyone, I've got somebody here to join me for tonight. It's GQ. GQ's here, and he's not having a good time. And you know what? For good measure, let's get a nice spinning GQ as well. There we go. All right, now we're ready. Now we're ready. He's shaking with joy. He's trembling with excitement. The face of pure happiness. GQ, watch out! Watch out! Watch out! No! It's good. It's good. It's cool and good. GQ, any comments about this development? All right, awesome. Turtle? Can we hear from Turtle? Maybe later. How about Dupu? Dupu, are you there? Can you hear us? Okay, good. All right, just making sure. Just doing a sound check there. How's everybody doing? Everybody's doing great. Sound bites are fantastic. You're so right. You're absolutely right. Okay. I want to time this somehow. Aside from that. This is good. This is cool and good. Yeah. Let's just set him on the pedestal. Set him on the pedestal. Also, let's just give him, let's just make, I think, no, not like that. That's the one. Needs to be on top. Let's make a little sandwich here. 3D. Yeah, I've seen it. It's not out. It's early access, so it's still got a lot of balancing and stuff that they're gonna do on it. I mean, I'm trying to figure out how in the world I can, whoops. I'm trying to figure out how in the world I can manage to like work this into the game, because that would be great. Let's see. What if we just made a little stack? So a little double decker. Old double decker totem here. I love. You know what? Let's talk about cube rule for a long time. What do you think, Tupu? This is good. I really like the effect of taking a rotating element in OBS and squishing it so that it appears to be three-dimensional. That's a really fun thing that I think more people should do. Easy. All right. So what we're gonna do, I'm gonna fake gravity here. I'm gonna fake gravity. Oh, what? How did that happen? Yeah, we're gonna fake gravity, and we're gonna hate doing that in the long run. I'm gonna end the night and realize like this was a terrible way of doing this, but the important thing is that we had fun. Yeah, like we can have these have... I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure how I want to do this. I thought just a little animation would be nice, but I feel like the animation is going to look very wrong. Does that make sense? And so it feels like the solution is, well, all you gotta do then is just, blah, 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 blah. I don't know. I don't know what the solution is. Lerps? We can do it with lerps. You can cheat gravity pretty convincingly. In which case we wouldn't have to do any of this processing. It would all be just a single setup function. I need to figure out how to properly do I think it's ease out to start with and ease in when we're going back up. Maybe the other way around, actually. But you do quad here, and it will do basically what I want. Okay, so we can say, all right, first tween this property to make it go down to the landing bit, and then make it go up and down a few times. I don't know. 1.5, 1.0, and then squishma. Something like this. How can I test this here? Dice effect attack, go. Okay. Okay. Decent start. Decent start. Definitely want to get this going up way higher. But that's a believable landing. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Make that one 4.0, and you got yourself a deal. So we want to make this like spinning a lot. Oh, that 2.5 or that 2. Make that 2.5. Spinny, spinny, spinny. How do we make the spinnies? Okay, this one is easier because it doesn't need any special any tweening. We want to look at the rotation. And I want to set it to some random value, right? Is there a thinking a random vector 3? Sort of. We can do a get rand rotation, which will return a vector 3. And we'll do rand f range of negative 2 pi to 2 pi, and just do that 3 times. Yeah, that's probably fine. Okay, do that, then wait 1 second before landing to the end, and then go to vector 3 dot 0. Okay, so this should land on a 1. That's the goal. It landed on a 2. Oh wait, I've got it set to a 2, so we're good. We're good. Well then, cool. Let's change this ready to roll. And just temporarily, we're going to call roll from the ready function. The idea is that we're going to have some kind of setup in the final facing. We say dice.rotation equals facing rotations sub final facing. So if I set this value to give me a 5, I just say give me a 5, then it should roll a 5 consistently. Boom, a 5. And that's a big enough 5 to squish you. The bounce is too consistent. So we're going to add a timing offset. A pretty small one. And this is going to affect how far up we go timing-wise. So currently, these both take 1 second. Hi, Al. And this is bad. So we're gonna have TZ. Let's rename this to TWA. Now we're making dice, and I'm very proud of the dice I've modeled. And I'm using the plural because it just feels more natural. Language evolves. Everything's, yeah, I mean, it's pretty normal around here today. I haven't seen anything that I would call, like, weird. What do you think, spinning Totem of GQ in pain? Normal. I think he's in pain. No, he's fine, he's fine, he's fine. It's fine. It's actually fine. T1 is going to be the time of the first bounce, which is currently 1 second. T2 is going to be the time of the second bounce, how long that bounce takes. So this becomes bounce over 2, second bounce over 2. This becomes T1, this becomes T2. I think even a T0 would be good here. Kind of the initial drop time is 0.5. Because now what we can do is like wiggle it a bit. I don't see any pain in any of his faces. Let me just, yeah, it's fine. It's fine. He's good. He's good. Yeah, what I'm thinking is, first of all, this should be a little bit shorter. This could be a little bit longer. We're gonna take like a random 1/10 of a second plus or minus, and we're gonna scoot that from one to the other. When Owl loses his block, that's what it sounds like. When Turtle loses his block, he's just upset with me. And when GQ loses his block, he's very upset. It's not a good time. Oh yeah, that's how I was combining them. When I was testing the soundboard earlier to make sure that the volume level was okay. That's the one I was playing with. It was this. It was. There you go. A story in 3 parts. It is. Well, now I know what I need to do next. The goat thing was not trivial. I mean, it wasn't hard, but I actually had to work a little bit to make the goat thing work. And then move the timing to here. And then move this to here. And this way you always get a slightly different dice timing. Yeah, let's just get a bunch of these going and make sure that they all land at the same time. That's not bad. You gotta admit, that's not bad. The way that they change their rotation upon landing is really good, I think. Every time they land, they change their spin. Okay, that's pretty good. We got that. So now we need to spawn these over the player. And the player needs to get squished. At what time, though? Oh, well, now we have a problem. What time do they get squished? Damage time should be consistent, but it doesn't have to be. Now that I'm thinking about it. I've been doing this like, oh, well, you know, we want to make sure we are careful with this, but we don't actually have to. We can go a little bit silly on it. We'll keep vaguely the same timing. But this is what we're interested in. There are these 3. Can you do that? I think you can do that. No, you can't do that. I thought you could do that. Oh, does this help us if I can I grab that value from the dice that has been created? I don't think I easily can. Homer-esque. Now I gotta listen to it again, and I need to visualize Homer Simpson. It really is. I wouldn't have thought of that. We'll just go with like roughly the right. Hobie. I'm not gonna do it. I was down with COVID for like a week and a half. I'm still not over it all. I'm not dying on this hill. This is a silly amount of work to put into making sure that the dice face matches the amount of damage dealt. I love it. All right. Slim, big dice. Attacks the entire enemy team. Is that not a valid target? What are the... Yeah, enemy team is valid. Okay. Love lava bubble. No priority. No requirement. And I'm going to just throw that as his ambush move because that way I can test it quicker. Okay, so he'll do some kind of like, oh, I'm summoning an attack. And then we will generate these for each target, right? For each target. I need to look at the chapter 2 moves here. Enemy team. Could execute per target. Really, I want to create a thing for each target. What's a good way? Is there... What attacks hit everyone but also generate a thing? That's not a thing that happens, is it? So we may just do it this way. Something kind of like this, at least. And then at the end, append actions. Okay, so actions is going to be our list of things. First thing we want to do is sprite holder, fire tween. No, not fire tween. Path, create sprite. That's the one. Create sprite. Yeah. Right on the position. Right on the position of the target. Right? Can we do that for each target? Got any for each? I don't have any good for eaches here. Oh, here we go. For target in targets. Duh, just do it that way. But I want to do it at the same time. For target in targets. Oh, just make a new action queue for each of them, right? Initial animation goes here. There we go. And then after those animations, append the action of Guess you don't even have to do that, do you? Yeah. This is actually fine. This is actually fine and good. Initial animations, and then execute the following. For each target, create this, whatever this is. Create the dice attack effect. First we need to generate the value. From 1 to 6 plus 1, is that right? No, it's inclusive. It's inclusive. Okay. Cool. Now, tricky thing is there a good way to set the value? There's a set state. We can use a set state. Or set flag. Do we have an example of set flag? Sprite holder, yeah. So this will set a value on the actual... Oh wait, that's the one I just set up, so that might not be real. Wait, it is. Okay, yeah, that'll work. So what do we call this value here? Final facing. So set the final facing equal to this value. And then wait for it to complete, which should take the sum of these. About 2.5 seconds. Ooh, yeah, let's try and land it just about on top of that, right? Ooh. I think we have a chapter 1 move. Wait for condition. Wait for condition. Look at that. So we can wait for... we can add an is done or is landed. How do we do this? We need a tween callback, right? Godot, tween callback. How does this work? How does it work? Create tween. Is correct. Wait, no, but how does it... Show me an example here. Show me an example of doing a callback. Godot await tween. How to wait for tweens. Await tween dot finished. Oh, okay. Cool. Then await sprite holder is landed. Once that is done, do the damage. The damage is going to be equal to the facing. And it's going to have a flag of flat damage, which is the magic that indicates that it doesn't do any additional damage based on the strength of the entity. It's just the damage listed. Delete sprite list. I want this thing to clean itself up. This little dice effect is going to finish itself up. So we're gonna do get tree, create timer, wait. Create timer. 1 second. Create tween. Tween property self scale vector 3. Just go really small, small over the course of 0.3, and do elastic. How does, okay, do I want it to ease in or ease out? Ease in means it's going to smack into the final value. Well, you know, we can do quad. We can do quad. Await, tweak 3 finished, and then delete it. And that should be fine. And then that's all we need to do, right? Yeah, I think that's it. Start a battle. Let's see if we get hit with big dice. Show me some big dice. They're not falling. I see them there. Oh, I need to tell it to run, don't I? That's easy. Slight change to the effect. Start the facing at 0. Add a process that's waiting for that. There we go. Done. Put me back in there. Put me in, coach. Still didn't work. Dang it. If final facing is 0, return. All right, let's do this. Print test. Do we get a couple of tests? No. Well, is final facing still equal to 0? Is that what's going on here? Final facing should be getting set to the value listed here. I'm getting test, which implies that I had a Boolean flipped. Problem there. The damage number is completely buried. Cannot call set ease on a null value. which is usually implying that this doesn't exist. It's a node 3, it's got scale. What is it not like about this tween action here? You can tween property on self. Scale is valid. Yeah, it knows scale. Scale needs to be a vector 3. So I'm passing it a vector 3 and then the timing. And that's it. Oh, because that's the wrong node. Or the wrong tween. Okay, damage indicator. This thing needs to be... oh, it's already sorted pretty high up. Okay. No depth test. Always make it go in front. We'll try that. Close. The label also needs to be no depth test, if that's allowed. That is allowed. And then we need to do the accordion squishy bits. Why does she take less damage? Why is she taking less damage? Does she have... Why is she taking less damage? I'm not blocking. Alright, damage indicator is fine now. Okay. We're gonna set target actor. Muted just in time, hopefully. Target.actor so that we can do the little squishies. Because we got our new little squishy function here. Squish. And then we provide it a length of time to stay squished. But then they're allowed to pop back up. So we gotta watch out. Oh, this is gonna be... I see. Oh, I don't like this. How about this? Q squish. Nope, hang on. Okay, something like this. How long does the squish last? 0.3. Well, duration can also be passed in. Okay, so we're gonna say Q our squishes here. After T0, squish for 0.3. After T0 and T1 have passed, squish for 0.3. And then after the end of it all, squish for a full second. That'll look cool, right? I still don't understand why she's taking less damage. Yeah, they both got hit with one. That looked really good. That looked really good. They both got hit with one. Let's change to cat. All right. So Dabble's gonna take -1. That looks right. Four and 6. It's just her. I did something to her. I sure did. I gave her 1 defense. When did that happen? When did I accidentally do that? I don't even know. Okay, well that solves that. Next. This needs to happen like a fraction of a second sooner on all of these. We want the animation to start right before they get actually touched. That's really good and funny, and I like it. And you can block it too, if you time it for the 3rd one. I did not block it. That's a lot of damage coming out, and it's a fun animation. It needs some kind of noise, of course, for the dice landing. But what? I've got lots already. Pretty big thud. Earthy thud. Maybe. Yeah. I think that's the one. So we add that into here as a node. Make sure it is on the SFX bus. I noticed a problem with Bold Bogey where if you turn down the volume sliders for music and sound effects, a lot of the sounds and music will still play at normal volume, which can be very alarming. And I imagine that's because some of those are still on the master bus. Squish count 0. Squish count +1. We're gonna mess with the pitch scale on this, I think. Earthy thud dot pitch scale equals squish count. So we're gonna go with pitches sub pos mod squish count pitches dot size. Don't like that. What did I get wrong here? Oh, missing a paren. So yeah, start it at a slightly higher pitch and work it down to 1.0. All right, here we go. That's really good. That's really good. Okay, I think that, like, I don't even think we need a wind-up animation for that. That looks really good, just a bunch of dice falling down. Cool. Let's see that dice again. Looked really good. Yeah, you can just see the beveling on the pips, and I think that's properly subtle. All right, that's big dice move done. Oh, what are you doing here? You're supposed to be up here with your other moves. Okay, we need an intro attack. Big dice, done. Shell game is going to be hard. So the idea is he's going to hide behind a deck of cards. The cards are going to shuffle out, and we're going to do kind of a mix-up, and you're going to try and remember which one he's hiding behind. A bit of a callback to Chapter 1. And then all of the cards are valid targets. So if you pick wrong, you lose. Well, no, nothing bad happens, I don't think, from picking the wrong one. You're just wasting time. Actually, what does happen? Maybe the incorrect targets will, I don't know, explode on you. Throw a bomb at you and you explode. Because it's not going to do... The card shuffle is not going to do any damage. But I don't want him, like, poking out and attacking you, and then, oh, well, now I know where he is. So, if it's going to be an attack, it can be an attack that you can mitigate by watching carefully. Okay, slot machine. Big reels, a little bit kind of like the big reels in Thousand Year Doors battle minigame with the cards, which is Thousand Year Door has a lot going on in its combat. Bug Fables does not. It's very straightforward. I mean, there's a lot of strategy since you have 3 party members, so you have a lot more actions available to you. But with Thousand Year Door, you have the star power system to recharge your special moves. You have the audience system of consistency in getting an action command successful nets you a larger audience, which in turn recharges star power quicker, which that links into the system of like the size of the theater, which only changes like 3 times in the game anyway, so that's like you don't even have control over that really. That's just like a level up thing to keep it fresh. But then you have the random events that happen on the theater. No control over that. You have audience interaction of audience throwing things. There's a lot of systems going on with that. And now that I think about it, you have not a lot of control over any of them. You're just reacting to a bunch of random events. Some of them helpful, some of them not so much. Like, I would like to add some more things to the combat system here, but I want them to be things that you can actually manage in some way. Things that you have some element of control over, not just how you react. We'll give that some consideration. The big thing is I want to make sure it's balanced around encounters specifically so that there's not an advantage to just running away and re-entering combat, which a lot of the systems I've had in mind are not properly accounting for that. Like if I had any system that just is based on number of encounters started or even number of turns, I don't want to encourage delaying a fight. Let me make a quick change here to this folder so that we can add new scenes specifically to here. Slots effect. He's gonna have a lot of special scenes for his attacks. Okay, so this animation is not going to be functional. Is that what we're deciding here? Like the moves I've got for him: cards, poker chips, slot machine. I don't know what slot machine would do if it were. Well, okay, I do know what it could do. It could do status effects at you. You know, like he rolls a random status effect, and then that gets random potency. Oh, hang on. Okay, 3 spinners. 1 for what effect it is, 1 for the potency, and 1 for the duration. That's something. I like that a lot, actually. So slot machine is going to be... potency and duration, and we can fake it. We can cheat a little bit on this. We can make it so that like the really bad status effects can only get level 1, duration 1 or something, so that you're like, ooh, that was a close one. So that you'll kind of see what the effect is first, and then it'll spin up the potency, the duration, and then the potency, like how bad is this gonna be? And then it'll flip coins to, you know what? No, it could be positive. It affects everyone. Positive or negative. Affects all fighters. Because you have the luck effect in place, right? And since luck is going on, all the negative status effects will only stick to you. All the positive effects will only stick to him. That works really well. So what effects do we want to throw in here? I mean, poison. That's a good one. And we can be fair on that one, because if you roll double potency for 3 turns, that's 6 damage. But it's 6 damage over time, so it's not as impactful, but that's a big chunk of damage you're going to have to deal with, and it's all luck-based. So I don't know, maybe this battle should be a bit more scripted, but poison seems good. Oh my goodness. It's Germ Dove. Oh. So You might be wondering. Video game. Understand. Jackbox Party Picks. I have a very special guest with me tonight. It is the Totem of Perpetual Pain. Totem of Pain, do you want to greet our guests? All right, cool. That's great. Hello, Germ Dove. I hope you had a good Jackbox. I made a cool dice attack that I think is a really fun little animation. It goes like boom, boom, and you get all squishy. And I think that's really fun. I think that's fun and neat and cool. And the amount of damage it does is the damage shown, unless you defend or block it properly, in which case it does less. So that's a big, you could take 1 damage, you could take 6 damage. Oh, what's it gonna be? And so the next one we're going to work on, which is not going to be tonight, that'll be probably Sunday. This is the gambling theme boss, by the way, hence the dice. The next one we're going to do is a slot machine, and it's going to roll a random status effect, potency, and duration. So I'm trying to figure out which status effects would really suck or be good. This guy's going to be really tough. So maybe I'll keep the potency low on the status effects. Because like if you hit him with the defense, if he gets hit with the defense up, ooh, you're going to have a hard time doing any damage for maybe a couple turns. I don't know. Defense up, power up, both good. So we got some positives and some negatives, but the gimmick with the fight is that he hits you with a luck effect at the start of the fight, which is going to make negative status effects more likely to hit you and positive more likely to hit him. Oh, actually, that's a good point. It's coin flip based. Oh, it doesn't matter because of the luck effect. Yeah. It affects relevant side only. Don't rely on luck, because you could cure the luck. But maybe we just give you a little bit of luck at the fight. It's like a little bit of bad luck, so that he always hits you for at least 1. Defense, yeah, defense up is good. Power up is good. Power down, less good. Health regen, I don't think so. Stop is scary. Freeze is scary. Because freeze is just straight up, your turn is skipped. That's terrible. Lose a turn. Awful, awful. Burning is probably fine. Burning is fine. I could see that, because you've already probably seen that in the mines as a status effect. I'm actually about to end stream myself because I need to sleep. I need to get ready for the time change as well. So we should consider maybe doing a raid. Epic's still on. Small's still on. Oh, we got options here. We got options. D is on. But D's not doing Silk Song, so we're not allowed to raid D. Okay, Photon's been going for like 5 hours. I imagine that he's getting ready to end stream. Hence, I think we'll go with Small because he's actually just started. So this is great. I think he said he's just like doing a little mini project. Oh, if I was going to be participating in multi-world. I'd be really tempted to do Factorio. The problem is, even a full 3 hours, that's really what gets me. There's no way. Even with like getting the random technologies and stuff, there's no way I'm launching a rocket in 3 hours. Even if I had everything unlocked, that's not valid. That's not viable. I would say Super Mario World is the most likely for me to complete, but it feels like it almost breaks the spirit of things if because if you're already doing it, it's like, well, why are we doing Archipelago? I mean, I guess it could be like everybody doing Super Mario World. Then I should not do Factorio. 100% should not, because the whole idea would be, well, if I'm, if I'm limiting myself to only doing it on these special nights, then I could have a little bit of Factorio as a treat. If it would be something to do other than that, I'm not good enough at shapes. Yeah, if it's async, I should not do it. Yoshi's Island, the setup that they mentioned sounded very interesting. The idea that you could actually select levels from an entire world without clearing them to give you some exploration. That really turns the game on its head a little bit in a very interesting way. Subnautica. Don't want to deal with Reapers again. Shapes. I've done shapes, but I'm not very good at it. Also, I've only done the browser version because it's free, so. You might, but there's no bugs to kill, you know? They really make you wait for blueprinting. But I mean, I guess Factorio does as well. But it really just feels like you're rushing for blueprints. But then again, so does Factorio. I'm keeping an eye on shapes too. Seeing for good sales on that. Okay, if we're not doing it for the spectacle, since it's asynchronous, Super Mario World might be a really good, just shapes and beats. Super Mario World might be a good one because I'm very familiar with it. I mean, I may not have every level memorized, but I definitely feel more confident in my ability to get around in that game more. And it feels like a much more limited scope. Something that I could pick up, try to see, like, is there anywhere I can get to? Oh, yes, I can get here, 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 here. Done. All right. Clocking out. Hollow Knight is too much of a thing. Factorio is so tempting, but I can't. And I don't want to get out the controllers for Celeste again. That's God. I know it's just vanilla, minus the Archipelago changes, but ooh, my fingers. Celeste is just not good for my hands. Yeah, I'd say Super Mario World most comfortable. Yoshi's Island if we're just really trying to make sure that no two people are playing the same game. And then absolutely no Factorio allowed. Not for another 2 years. I'm going to play so much Factorio in 2 years. Oh, it's going to be great. All right, let's... I gotta get out of here. I gotta imagine that I'm 1 year or 1 hour in the future. All right, I'm getting rid of the totem. The totem is going into the void. Probably forever. So I hope you all enjoyed having that with us. There he goes. Thank you all for hanging out. This was fun. We got a thing done and some good ideas. This boss is going to have a significant number of moves, which is good. I think we're really kind of moving up. Like, the first boss had, like, not really many moves. Like, kind of 2, sort of. A totem redeem. It's like the bosses are getting a little bit more complex and interesting, and I think that's a good progression to have. I'm working on non-Chapter 3 stuff off stream. The interstitial bits. We'll see if anything comes of that. Have a good night, everybody. Bye.